Hello, so I'm making this video today for my friend Bridget because she told me this morning that she had never made cornbread. So I've been wanting to make some videos of some family recipes and just everyday recipes that I use in my kitchen. So here goes. So today we're doing cornbread, and I normally just dump a bunch of stuff in and just go with the consistency that I like. But I'm going to measure today so that Bridget knows how to make this cornbread. So this is cornmeal. And I usually I have this big scoop. So usually I fill it up to the rim where that looks full like this. And I usually just dump it in. But today I'm going to measure it so that we know how much it is. And it looks like and this is also I use this number 8 size iron skillet, and this fills the iron skillet perfect. So this looks like this is 1 cup of cornmeal, as you can see. Let's dump that in. And then I use flour. And this is a 1/2 cup of flour. And then I use a little bit of sugar in my cornbread. Not everybody does, but I do. And this is a 1/2 cup, and I actually just, as you can see, just sprinkle some in. I tell my daughter all the time, you season with love and with your heart. So you just kind of season away. Use 1 egg. Now I've already preheated my oven to 425, and I always shake up my buttermilk to make sure it's good and shook up before I use it. And I don't measure this either, so I just start pouring until I like the consistency. As you can see, it gets kind of thick. I'll make sure all of it's incorporated together. Needs a little bit more buttermilk. Now just about when I get it toward the consistency with the buttermilk that I like, it's still kind of thick. Then I just add some water. My consistency that I like for my cornbread to be is about like cake batter. And you can see it's not thick, but it's not thin. It just has the right consistency. All right, so turn this water off because I thought I might need a little bit more. Now, this pot iron skillet is seasoned already, and when I'm done with it every time, I rinse it out. If I have to use it with soap on it, I actually use salt and actually make sure I get it all the soap back off. And then I put oil back on it to make sure that it doesn't stick. That's the key ingredient. My grandma always did that, and so that's the way I've always done it too. So I use shortening. Just take a paper towel, and then I just scoop me some out on my paper towel, and I just smear it around. I make sure that it's all covered. That keeps it from getting on your hands, and it's less messy. And then I just pour my cornbread in. Now I bake this roughly about 25 to 30 minutes. And as it starts to brown and get golden, that's how I usually tell. Sometimes it may have to go 35 to 40 minutes, depending on how hot it is outside. What I've been cooking before, how hot the oven is. But as you can see, it's not full, because you don't want your pan to be super full, because it's going to rise. I just smear it around to make it smooth. And this is what it looks like. Now we're going to put it in the oven. And I'll let you know how it turns out. Now our cornbread is out of the oven, and as you can see, it's gotten a golden brown on top. Now I actually take my cornbread, I have a plate, and I turn it over right on into that pan. Now, this iron skillet is very, very hot, so I always try to put something down on my counter to keep. And since it's hot, I'm gonna set it back in my oven and get it out of my way for just a minute. But as you can see, the nice golden brown, and it makes it really crispy. That shortening that we put on in the inside the pan, when it bakes with the cornbread, it makes it so, gives it this, as you can hear it, that crunchy texture. It makes it really crispy on the bottom and on the top. So, because as it bakes, it crunches, makes the edges really crunchy. So let me find a knife. I like to let it cool and rest just a few minutes. I don't like my cornbread really, really thick. I like it kind of, just as you can see. You can hear it. Cannot wait. This is going to taste so good. Because it's still steamy, and hot. Look at that wonderful texture. That's kind of, sometimes when I take it out of the oven and it's still hot like this and I'm trying to, I should have waited a few minutes to cut it. It's still steamy. Kind of gives that, as you can see. Look at that beautiful, beautiful yumminess of that cornbread. Look at that steam. This won't last 10 minutes when these kids and my husband get in here and get this cornbread. I hope you've enjoyed my recipe of cornbread and my take on how I like to do it. It took me several times to get this recipe right. My mother-in-law makes great cornbread. My grandmother always made good cornbread. My husband's grandmother made wonderful cornbread. So it took me a long time to perfect my making cornbread to get it this good. And so I hope your cornbread turns out just as good as mine, and grab that pot of pinto beans and sit down and have your summer vegetables, and cornbread goes with anything. Soup, I mean, we love it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and like and subscribe. Thanks.